Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Sonia Osorio, president of the National Organization for Women of New York. We're here today to discuss the devastating effects of child marriage across the country and across the state of New York. Now has made ending child marriage and the abuse, economic disempowerment, and lifelong problems associated with a top priority of our women's rights agenda. Many people find it shocking that girls as young as 14 can be married to adult men right here in our state, but they can. We are tremendously grateful and encouraged that our governor has made this a top priority as well, to end child marriage in our state. I spoke with Governor Cuomo this morning. He is more committed than ever to ensuring that child marriage comes to an end here in our state as soon as possible. What the governor is doing, what he has done, is that he has applied a human rights lens to marriage law. First, by expanding the rights of same-sex couples to marry in our state, and now by working to close the loopholes that allow child marriage to take place. You know, at a time when fundamental rights for women are under attack by the Trump administration, this legislation to save girls from forced marriage is needed more than ever. So thank you very much for being here. I want to special thanks to Commissioner Destito for having me here today. I'm honored to introduce the Commissioner of the Office of General Services, Roseanne Destito, who is doing great work to make the government effective, efficient, and responsive to the needs of our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I think it's still morning. And thank you. I want to first thank Now and Sonia Osorio for their partnership on this issue. From the Women's Equality Act to strengthening pay equity and combating sexual assault on college campuses, New York State has a legacy of leading the way in advancing equal rights. By fighting to end child marriage in New York State once and for all, the governor is taking another major step forward in his efforts to ensure the health and safety of all New York's women and girls. Under current law, children as young as 14-year-olds can get married in New York State. But too often, these young women are coerced into marriage against their will and forced into abusive relationships that harm their mental and physical health. And this too can result in human trafficking, assault, and so much more. This is unacceptable, and New York remains woefully behind on this issue. Countries like South Sudan, Malawi, and Cambodia currently outlaw child marriage. We can and must do better here in New York. That's why in New York we are fighting to pass comprehensive legislation to raise the age of consent to marry from 14 to 18-year-olds. Legislation currently being advanced will strengthen protections for minors by preventing child marriage and increasing penalties for those who issue a marriage license to anyone under 18 years old. This bill includes the necessary safeguards for minors by mandating parental and judicial written consent for New Yorkers between the ages of 17 and 18-year-old to get married. That means for anyone 17 years or old wishing to get married in New York State, judges will be required to meet with the minor. Judges must also ensure that neither the party has a history of domestic violence, orders of protection issued against them, or is a registered sex offender. This exception is widespread in many states across the nation and legislation addresses any concerns. Today, American girls who marry before 19 are 50% more likely to not graduate from college or to drop out of high school. A girl who marries young is 31% more likely to live in poverty when she is older. These are staggering figures, and we must take the necessary action to protect our young people and ensure that they have opportunity to succeed. Sadly, in New York, between 2000 and 2010, 3,850 New York children married before age 18. 84% involved minor girls marrying adult men. That is just not right. With the governor's strong support on this issue, I know we can make it happen. The Senate has passed this bill, and now the Assembly needs to act. Every woman in the Assembly needs to vote yes on this legislation and ensure that it gets done. It is our duty to stand up and fight for these young women and girls, and we must pass this bill to ensure they can lead long, healthy, and happy lives. We really do owe it to every woman in the state that this legislation pass and that we eliminate this possibility. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
Commissioner, I'm sorry. Whoever wants to answer this. In the Assembly, what are you hearing? What's the holdup? Is there opposition to the details or opposition in concept?
No, we understand there's a bill. Assemblyman Paulin is carrying the bill. It's widespread supported. We just would like to see it passed.
Any reason why it hasn't at this point?
Not aware of that.
Do you think it might become a budget issue?
We would prefer that it not be, but we'd like to pass.
Yeah, I think it's really important to get this done as soon as possible. I mean, each day that goes by, girls as young as 14 are in danger, in jeopardy. And the National Organization for Women, Unchained at Last, Sanctuary for Families, all organizations that advocate for women's rights and work directly with victims and see the devastation that it creates in their life and how it holds them back for decades before that they can reclaim their lives and move forward. Would like to see this done as soon as possible. We're here today to educate legislators. So like most people that I speak to on the street, they're shocked to learn about this, and we're still educating legislators about it.
I myself was shocked when I heard about it, and you know I was a legislator for 19 years, so it was very shocking to hear.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you.